meeting. Welcome to Westwood's Planning Board meeting. My name is Chris Paff. I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. All meetings are recorded by Westwood Media Center. Is there anyone else who'd like to record tonight's meeting? As a reminder, I'd like to ask you to please remember to turn off your cell phone ringers. The agenda is available at the back of the room. The meeting will follow the order on the agenda. The meeting will be civil, all people treated respectfully. The format of the meeting will be an item will be called and an applicant comes forward to the podium to present their application to the board. The board will proceed to staff comments. The board members will ask questions of the applicant, and then the public will be given an opportunity to comment. When it's time for the public comment period, the chairman will call those wishing to speak to the podium. Once at the podium, please identify yourself by stating your name and address for the record. All comments and questions shall be directed through the chair. All people will be given the opportunity to speak, but in the interest of time and fairness, repetitive or off-topic comments may be cut short. Abby, any changes to tonight's agenda?
Just one change. Item number 6, the approval of the performance guarantee and endorsement of the Canton Terrace subdivision plan. You do not have that item. I had put that on thinking you may receive that. That's not yet ready. You don't yet have that. So there's no action on that item tonight.
Okay. All right. First off is 565 Gay Street Estates, definitive subdivision, public hearing. Hearing continued multiple times, most recently April the 11th. Proposal for 2 house lots.
Edward J. Hi, how you doing? Edward J. Richardson, Dedham, Massachusetts. I represent the applicant here. If the applicant wishes to withdraw without prejudice, filed an application with Ms. McCabe last week. Obviously, we withdraw without prejudice if the board would be so kind as to waive the filing fee if it is refiled within 1 year. There's a number of reasons for the withdrawal. One of which is one of the members of the board has to recuse himself, and not wishing any ill upon the chair, but there's a town election. That's number 2, and number 3, and probably more importantly, we have staked out the wetlands area. As you may recall, this has a significant wetland area on it. To ensure that we have the sufficient upland to support the 2 lots. That's been staked up. We have not had a Concom determination on it yet. And the other final thing is that the plan has to be revised to bring the proposed roadway, the actual traveled way, built way, in accordance with the current roadway standards for these small subdivisions. For those reasons, we're requesting withdrawal without prejudice so we can come back in with a completed plan, brought up to speed with everything I think that the board is going to need, and it will not be continued multiple times. And
I just didn't want to read all the dates.
No.
I didn't mean anything disparaging by that.
You don't have to. We'd like to bring it in up to speed. And the other thing is we'd request the release of the unexpended review fees, all of which will be recycled with the reapplication. In other words, you'll put it out to bid again to get an estimate what the review is going to cost, and we'll make the deposit the same as we did in the past. Anything that's unexpended, just to be refunded. So we'll basically start fresh, probably. Maybe within a month, but at least it definitely will be done within the year.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
If I remember correctly, is this the project? And forgive me. We had an old mapping for conservation of the wetlands.
Yeah,
like 7 years ago.
It was done some time ago, so we
asked you
verified.
to update that just to make sure.
It has been staked in the field. It has been
Okay.
laid out. A plan, I guess, is in preparation. We have not gone to the commission with it yet. And when you get to the commission, we get the actual acceptance of the wetland delineation. Then we'll have something definitive to put on the plan, and you'll be able to take that to the bank, as the saying goes.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to recall
Yeah.
that discussion.
That's
on
right.
the
It was quite a few years back. Yeah. Also, the Board of Health had done its. This is not sewer. This is a septic. There'd be 2 septic systems.
Right.
The Board of Health had done its certification, I think, sometime past too. But we just got that recertified, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So Abby, they're asking to waive the fee and to push unspent peer review money, take that back to them.
Right.
And then they'll reapply it to the next time.
Yep. So I I think it's okay to accept that request to refund the remaining balance of the peer review fee and then apply the filing fee to an application if filed within the year. So we'd only started our review and hadn't completed it.
Okay. Any questions by board members for the applicant? No? Is there anyone in the public care to express a concern? Question? Okay. So we need a vote on this?
Yes.
To
Accept the request to withdraw without prejudice.
without prejudice. Okay. Need a motion to start that.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. And one
One abstention.
abstaining. So
So
we've
I move that we,
closed it, huh?
we return the, you didn't include it in the motion. did you?
Right, the balance.
Return the balance, return the balance of the peer review fees and to, and agree to apply the application fee to any new application filed within 1 year.
I'll second the motion.
In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? One. Okay. We need to close this, right?
Okay, I move to close the hearing.
Second.
In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay.
All right, thank you very
Closed.
much.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Number 2, we have approval not required plans, A&R plans for 266, 278 Washington Street, 291, 295 Washington Street, and 9 School Street.
Okay. The first one that you have in front of you, this is the east side of Washington Street, that's 266 Washington Street through.
These are the same, right? Yeah.
What is it, 266 through, what's the agenda? 278. This is the lot where the CVS and Crown Cleaners are presently. And this plan shows creating 2 lots. And the existing buildings are shown on the plan to be raised. They both have frontage on Washington Street. The minimum required frontage is 40 feet in the local business zone. The lot with the CVS building has 105 feet and 56 feet for the lot where the Crown Cleaners currently is. That's proposed lots A and B.
Why are both of them proposed to be raised?
So it's not creating a nonconformity because it doesn't meet the
Setbacks.
side yard setback.
So if they're going to be raised, there's no setback violation.
All right, and so on the screen is the aerial of the existing lot line. So it's shown as 1 lot now, and it's proposed to be 2 lots.
Okay. Any questions by board members? Concerns? Okay. Anything else, Abby?
Nope.
We need
Do
to
you
know?
want to maybe finish this one before we go on to the next one?
No, might as well do them both.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think we can.
Okay, so the next one is across the street. This is 9 School Street, the 9 School Street property, and 291-295. At the corner, there's 2 lots shown to be reconfigured to
I didn't get mine.
2 lots.
This is the current Cafe Diva and the Taylor building, right?
Yes. So this is shown, here, let's get. There's the 9 School Street lot. That lot is in the residential zone, which requires 90 feet of frontage. And there's the 90 feet of frontage on School Street. And then the lot at the corner, that's in the local business zone, and it has over the 40 feet on both sides of the street. I believe it's 103 on School Street and 76 feet on the Washington Street side.
Which building is the Taylor building?
The Taylor Building, the former Taylor Building is this one.
And then what is it?
This is the temporary, this is the Blue Heart Tavern,
Oh, so,
and this is the Cafe Diva building.
I think it does this.
oh, it says concrete block building?
Abby, is this the lot line? The new lot line?
Yes, that's the,
Or is it the current lot line?
nope, that's
Oh,
the
proposed.
zoning line, and this is the proposed.
So we're at 90 feet
new
here,
lot,
and then
yep.
it cuts back. And
Yep.
does this,
And goes all the way back here,
and this all stays untouched.
right,
And so this one then is just here?
yep. So it has frontage on Washington and School
So
Street.
the two, wait,
So this is gonna be one lot. This will be one
is this
lot
the
here.
Taylor building?
And then this is the second lot.
The Taylor
Yep.
building and Cafe Diva will sit on the one lot.
Right, but it says to be raised for
Right.
this building.
So the Blue Heart Tavern says it's a concrete block building, and it's a wooden building,
Yeah, I don't know, what is that one-story concrete block?
Or is that the,
but, yeah, is
Is that referring to the Blue Heart Tavern?
One-story concrete block, sorry, if I can interject.
Can you identify yourself?
So,
Sorry.
my name is Giorgio Petruzziello. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
The concrete block building is the old tailor shop, yes.
oh, that's Old Taylor.
Oh, that's a,
Oh,
so what's the other building
The
then?
old
There's
lot
two
tower.
that indicate
No, there's,
one-story
want
concrete
to
block.
take
a look?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
please do.
oh, yeah, let me pull it up.
all right, this is the,
We have 1, 2, 3 buildings.
This is Blue Heart Tavern.
That's what we were asking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
so it's
That's
Mr.
Blue Heart
Labor.
Tavern, this is the tailor shop, and this is a cafe Diva.
Because that's more than one story.
Yeah,
this is exactly-
this is in concrete block.
That's what was
Two-story
confusing.
wooden
Oh,
building.
okay, sorry.
They just
They
took,
always let wrong.
they copy and pasted or something.
Okay.
Okay. The Cafe Diva building on these plans, it doesn't say to be raised. Is that an issue with setbacks? The Taylor building says to be raised, but the Cafe Diva doesn't. I don't want to be a stickler, but we
No,
had it
I
on the
don't-
other ones.
I don't think,
Can we make sure that's added? If that's
We could-
needed, I don't know
could write it in.
how they, I mean, are they,
Right, well, the, there's no front setback, so that could be on Washington Street.
might be a school
But yeah,
street
the
issue?
side, the School Street side setback.
I just want to be consistent. If we did it on
Okay.
the other one, we should do it, just so it shows up on the plans
Okay,
appropriately.
we could write that to be raised on the plan.
I assume, I mean, it's here on this one, it's just omitted. Okay. Questions, board members?
All right, so we'll let Abby just make those, might as well just make those two corrections, to be raised for the,
And the description of the
Yeah,
Blue Heart
maybe,
Tavern?
yeah,
Should be
one
changed to
story-
a
one story should be-
two-story wooden?
wood frame building.
Okay, anything else, from board members?
Is there any issue with the setback because of it looks like it's like 1.4 feet from the back. The Blue Heart Tavern is right on the line there.
I don't know if it matters in the, but the temporary location,
It's just sitting there.
I think,
Yeah.
If it has a problem, they could just move it over.
okay. I think, I know it got zoning board approval about a year ago, because it's a temporary
Oh, so it's-
location.
Yeah, so it's,
So it might still be under,
yeah.
I think that was almost a year ago now.
Yeah, and then the offending, or the offended neighbor was the town in this
Yeah.
particular case. So the ZBA approved this location of the house next to the
Yeah.
lot line. The lot line is not changing, right, back there?
Right, not that,
So
not that
that
portion
is
of the lot
not-
line.
Oh, so-
Changing,
So it is
so-
approved then, yeah.
So the ZBA has already looked at this and said that's okay for
Yeah.
that location relative to the lot line. Okay. And the, to that end, the Taylor building is only 8 feet. I gotta believe that's also existing, not conforming.
Right, that's been there.
But that is indicated to be raised, so.
Yeah.
And we know the other one is going to be relocated.
Yeah.
The Blue Heart Tavern has no foundation in it, so. Okay. Any other questions by board members?
I'm good.
Okay.
We need a motion for both of them? or-
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want to ask if there's anyone out there?
Yeah, I should ask that, shouldn't I? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question of the applicant through the chair or the board on this particular issue? No? Okay.
All right, so I move that we approve of both A&Rs.
With the noted changes to,
With no changes on the Blue Street, Washington Street line.
okay?
Now, do you think we could write those changes in on the plans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, you want us to do it, or you can do it later?
Okay, we could do it
Well,
later.
you want
if
these signed,
Right.
Yes, I'd
That's
like them
fine.
to be signed tonight.
Make the changes first.
okay?
Yeah.
We nominating Steve to make the changes.
Well, oh, do I have it?
Someone with,
There's multiple copies, Steve. Okay.
That makes sense.
Did you finish your motion, Steve? I don't recall if you
Yes,
did.
yes, I did.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion to accept.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It's 4 ayes, and that's all we have tonight. 4. Yeah, how are you writing that? Here, why don't you sign it before we move on? Where's the signature? Go ahead. We'll pass that on. No, that's the one Steve did, yeah. So you need to edit these two. Did you sign that? Yep. Okay, I need to sign that, you need to sign that. Steve, we just need your signature on that, and it's done. It's already been altered.
No, this is one that just needs to
I
be-
thought Trevor did.
No.
Nope.
Oh, no, I didn't do anything.
You're not editing, okay. This one has been edited. This one has been edited.
Is this one done? Okay. Wait, does that?
Did you sign this one, Dave? Yes. I need to sign it, I think. So does Steve.
Okay, 4 signatures?
I need you on this one. That one done? Is that one done?
This one needs one more signature.
Steve's? I'll pass it on. Is that for signings tonight, Abby? The Sharpie's back. This one has 4, right? Sharpie?
Steve sent us one twice, is that okay?
I did?
You did?
You really like this one.
Someone gave it to me, told me to sign it again. I did. Is that one of the copies?
Yeah.
It's a non.
Did you sign it, Mike McCusker?
Nope, he didn't. Ah, his chair. Awful.
You all right?
Yeah, it's just this chair like gets stuck on the ground. Gets stuck on the ground and I can't move, but.
We good to move on? All right, thank you. Next is 188 Mayfair Drive, Earth Material Movement Special Permit, public hearing continued from, most recently, April the 11th, earthwork and grading associated with house remodel. Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Craig Siganowski, RIM Engineering. It's been a while since the last time we were actually here. Tommy Mitchell of Mitchell Construction.
Evening.
The plans that you have probably don't match the plan that's there because I made some changes based on comments received last week. I do have extra copies.
They have a copy in their packets.
Okay.
Take an extra one. And the one on the screen is the one that was sent today, I think. Yep.
Is that different than this one, Abby?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
So you don't need.
Maybe I'll take the full-size copy.
Okay. You can
Thanks.
take these.
The 24th one?
Yep.
Yes. So since the last time we were there, before you, we did some soil testing to see what was in the fill in the front yard and the backyard. Front yard fill is not all that good, so we had to go down to about 8 feet to get to the gravel. Because when they put the fill on the site, they put it on top of the original topsoil and subsoil. And as we're not going to be allowed to grade off the property onto the town land in Hartford Street in the woods, there are several mature trees. We're going to have to go with the wall system, block retaining wall. So it'll have to be set on the gravel that's down about 7 feet. So there'll be some excavation, and that's what the notes that were changed between last week and the plan today included what Ms. McCabe had said about the route that's to be taken by the trucks, what happens if there's damage to the street and the pavement, street signs and that nature. So notes 1 through 4 cover what those issues. So based on the drainage study and what conservation wanted us to do, we put 2 roof pits. They'll be about 7.5 feet deep to catch the roof water. The retaining walls in the backyard with the stone, crushed stone that runs behind on sheet 2, it shows a detail, will act as the drainage system for the rear yard. We also brought in an arborist to look at the yard and to come up with a way, as the owner does not want grass, he wants just, because of the steepness of the slopes, he just wants ground covering plants. So that was included in the package from Environmental Consulting and Restoration. It actually is a steep slope native planting seeds, a mix that would be spread over the property by hand. Erosion control blankets and silt sock will be put in place during the process of the growing season. We also addressed an issue that came up. Well, we staked the entire property so the neighbors could see where the property lines were. And we did find that the original construction or tree clearing went onto the neighbor's property to the east, to the Diaz. So we outlined that and steps that would have to be taken to restore the area. And obviously, the owners of the property would have some say as to what gets put back in there.
Did you mention Hartford Street? You were going to have to put a wall up?
Well, our property runs Mayfair Drive, then takes the turn onto Hartford Street.
Right. I thought I heard
Because there's
you
such a
mention.
distance between Hartford Street, actual pavement, and the property line, it's about 30 feet. The fill was
Okay.
brought, when they put the fill down, they did go into the layout of Hartford Street with the fill. Conservation raised the concern that the fill is against the trunks of the trees, and eventually could kill the trees, which then the applicant would be responsible for replacing. So in order to remove the fill, it appears we'll have to go on with a very small machine or by hand and rake that away from the trees. So
Okay, so no, I misheard you. There's no
the
retaining
wall won't be within the layout of Hartford Street. It'll be on our property, but it will be along the property line of Hartford Street.
Is it shown here on this plan?
Yeah, the rectangles.
Oh, I was looking on the side. My mistake. I'm sorry. Okay, goes up to Mayfair. I was looking for a different wall.
Right, so with that wall, and then the maximum 2-to-1 slope, we should be able to handle the front yard. And the same thing in the back, the two walls, which will be, it'll come down as steep as it is, then drop into a wall, level off, then drop to a second wall, level off again to the two swales along the back of the house, where he has about 15 feet of flat area behind his existing house. The owners do like the boulders, so those are staying in place. So the swales will run around that to carry the water away from the house. And then the rest of the slope will be, again, as it's been cleared already, the stumps will be left in place and the seed mix will be put on. The arborist does, detail that it should be raked out so that the seed can get into the soil and whatever's there that's, the branches and such that are on the slope should be taken out so the seed mix can get onto the actual topsoil.
Okay. I see a note here. It says pile of granite to be moved onto lot unless owned by Diaz.
Yeah, we have no idea who owns it. We haven't, I actually forgot to ask Mr. Gagnon, Mr. Gagnon when I saw him over the weekend. It's possible that it's owned by the neighbor.
Is it, when it says
It's slabs
pile
of granite.
It's like kitchen countertop granite?
Granite steps.
Granite,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
So-
2 or 3, I think it's 2 slabs of.
Yes.
And owner is unknown at this point.
I forgot to ask Mr. Gagnon that question.
They're tips.
Okay, so they are the owners.
To what extent, I know that the neighbors came last time and
Yeah.
expressed the concern of the tree clearing. Can
Well,
you, can you show to what extent, like how far front to back was it affected?
On the plan, about where the existing garage is, if you look towards the Diaz property, there's a note, limit of disturbance.
Okay,
54 square feet where I assume it was saplings and ground cover that was pulled out.
okay,
Up the hill, we found, Mr. Diaz had mentioned that a tree was cut on his property. Mr. Gagnon was aware of that. It's a 20-inch stump. No idea what kind of tree it is.
oh, way back here?
Yeah, up at the
Okay.
top where the curve in the retaining wall is shown. So there was a 20-inch stump and a 4-inch stump.
Okay, I see both of those shown here.
I'm sure there was saplings, but there was no,
Okay.
those are the trees.
I only
that we-
bring it up because they brought it up.
He did
last
bring it
time,
up, and
so I
yeah, we
wanted
did.
to-
We located all the stumps, and those are the only two we found on his property.
Okay. All right,
We have not been before conservation, so obviously, as noted, if they have changes, then we'll have to come back before you, depending to what extent they make us change the plan.
okay. Abby, was there anything else that the neighbors had a concern? Are you aware of?
No, I don't think, they had asked about the erosion controls, because those weren't on the original plan. So the plan's been revised now a couple
Right.
times to include those.
Right, I see that. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just a
Anything?
difficult site.
Yeah, it is. It is that.
There's just, I think in part, well, part of it, thank you for your patience on this, but we just, what we had to do, what we found out was a lot of changes here to adjust for the conservation meeting as well. So that's just one thing that we'd be looking for is just contingent on conservation approval that this keeps moving in the best interest of everybody, really.
Okay. Anything else to add, Abby? I know we had Phil.
Right, so Phil.
Yes, engineer, town engineer.
Phil, as a town engineer, had reviewed this, and he said the plan has been updated per all the requests that you made and that he had made at the initial hearing. So I think at this point, they are working on their Conservation Commission filing, but I'd recommend your approval be contingent on the planning, conservation's approval, and if there's any modification that's substantially changes the plan, then that could come back to you as a minor modification.
Okay, and we have outlined routes, trucks, and all our standard conditions.
Note number 2.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Okay.
I had suggested, I think maybe we may have talked about it a little bit at the first hearing, that the trucks carrying the fill come from Hartford Street and not travel all the way down Mayfair from High Street.
So the route would then be from High Street to High Rock to Hartford?
Or
If they're coming from the
High
west?
to Hartford.
Or High to Hartford?
Yeah.
So that means if they're coming from the west on 109 on High, their first left to get to
Would be
would be on High Rock,
High Rock. Yeah.
depending on where they're getting the fill.
And then we'd also recommend a condition that a final as-built plan be submitted by a certified engineer.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public to hear it on this matter? Nope, okay. All right. Any other questions, comments from the board? Before we vote on the matter? No? Okay. Do I have a motion?
So I move that we accept the plan with the conditions as listed on the plan, and some of which we'll put down as conditions
Okay.
in the,
Oh, yeah.
are there any
And,
additional ones?
well, the 5 in the meeting summary for also, we've already talked about them, except for the only 2 we didn't touch on was the existing pavement on Mayfair be protected from damage, and that the applicant is responsible for filing with the Conservation Commission. Actually, we did summarize all those.
All right, so we can, subject, to conditions as listed on the plan itself, and these 5 conditions, you can put on the actual permit.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yes.
And you could close the hearing too.
Motion to close the hearing?
Second the motion to close?
In favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Oh, they were out of here fast.
Wow. Really break stride.
They're going to go to work. Next, number 4, Summer Street, Scenic Road Public Hearing. Request to remove 2 20-foot portions of a stone wall within a scenic road right-of-way for construction of driveways. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
How are
members
you?
of the board. Good.
Good.
Dan Merrickin here on behalf of the applicant. You may recall we were here last month for an earth materials movement special permit. We already have our conservation approval for these 2 lots, lots 139 and 140 Summer Street. I did submit a couple of photographs today, just so that you could see. We have a stone wall that runs across the front of these 2 lots. It does not extend above road grade. So this is as you're looking at the road, as you're looking at the lots from the road, this would be the right lot, lot 139. So what it is it's basically a retaining wall for the road. We need to essentially bury a portion of it. We don't even really need to remove it. Our driveway will obviously slope down from road grade into and across that. We will end up removing and filling in a section of that wall. There was a comment last time about possibly rebuilding this wall across the front of the two lots, but it would just be too much work. It would be very expensive to do that. It's 250 plus feet of wall. You could see to get it up to road grade or above. On the backside, it would have to be 5 or 6 feet high. It would be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 easily to do that. So what we would like to do, and what I've submitted in a revision, is to basically install 2 above-grade stone wall returns at each driveway entrance. If you look at the plan real quick, you can just see in red there, at each entrance, there would be 2 curved returns that would extend above grade. They would extend about 30 inches above grade. They would slope down with the driveway, and it would just create some more scenic interest, I guess. In that section of the road, you really can't see the stone wall from the street at all. So it would enhance the scenic interest of that portion of Summer Street. There is more stone wall on either side of these lots that extends above grade, but when you get to these 2 lots, it goes into a situation where it converts to a retaining wall for the road. The road was obviously filled in at some points. There was a valley there, and the road was filled in, filled in a low point, and they used that wall to retain some of the road fill.
So it'll really be, the turn-ins will really be viewed only from the houses themselves anyway. You won't.
No, they would be above grade, so along the driveways, basically along the roundings of the driveways, we would build these up above
Then how
driveway grade.
How would it connect then with the,
It would basically be built on top of, they would kind of come on top of the retaining wall section. It would just create, an above-grade visual section of wall that you'd be able to see from the street at both driveway entrances. It
So
would just-
it's the only place in which you'd see both sides of the stone wall?
Correct, that's correct. So it would be a 2-sided wall section.
and so at what point does it end? When just, as soon as it straightens out?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Stops after.
We would be building as much wall as we're taking out at least for each
So will you be
driveway between the
reusing
two.
the stones that are there?
We will. We'd probably have to supplement it, but we would reuse the
Why don't we
stones.
specify that?
Okay.
We have notations on the plan that speak to that.
Right, I just want to add, you got a revised plan was at your seat tonight?
So we have 4 notes, stone wall notes.
Get my mail on this.
So it's basically like you're taking the existing wall and you're
Yeah.
Right.
And we're basically going to build these new sections up above, so that you can see them from the street. You're just going to basically, when you drive down the road, you're going to see 2 nice little curved entrances for each driveway. It'll look nice.
Okay, Abby, did Phil visit the site before? I can't recall. He had
Yes,
some
he
pictures.
did for the last hearing, which was for the earth material movement.
That's right. Did he have anything else did he comment on this stone
I
wall
think
issue?
he didn't have any other comments.
Okay. Any questions by the board for the applicant? Anything else to add, Abby?
Nope.
Okay. Anyone from the public? Hi. Can I ask you to come just to the microphone so that the camera can pick up on it? People who are watching can hear your question or comment.
Betsy Elizabeth Cohane, 359 Summer.
Hi.
I'm directly across
Okay.
the street.
Oh, I see your name right there.
Now, years ago, when the 3 houses that abut my field were being built, one already had a driveway there, and that was incorporated into that house that is still being built. there are two other houses. I believe it's OT and Price. And the planning board did not want any more access to Summer Street, so they had to share a driveway. And I remember years, we've been in our house 34 years, and I remember years ago, there was a big thing on the planning board. Summer Street cannot have any more accesses to it. Now, we know these houses will have a minimum of 2 cars per home. Where we are is the most dangerous part of Summer, coming down that swing. So, my question is, why are there 2 driveways and not a shared? I mean, we're getting rid of the stone wall. If I remember years ago, there was a stone wall there, but it probably fell over because it wasn't taken care of. But I still feel that a shared driveway would be called for. I don't know what the plan is on these houses. Are they going in sideways, or long ways? I don't know. So I would like some kind of an answer on,
How far back are you recalling the planning board's decision on your neighbors' homes?
oh my gosh. Well, when did the prices go in there?
20 years?
When the Sarkis owned it, then Mook owned it, and, no, it's not 20 years.
Not that long ago?
Right, if I could just
Yeah,
add, I think it was a little bit further down, 480 Summer Street. They applied for a special permit for a shared driveway 10 years ago, about 10 years ago.
480, that's way below me.
Oh, but their lot extends up. So it's not this property, but it's down a little bit further.
The one I'm talking about would be 325, already has a driveway, so it would be the 2 houses above that.
Right, so it's on, yep.
So it's
right down on the
3
side.
something.
Abby, can you gesture
So
where we're
you have
talking
the- You have
about?
the single
I
large
think-
piece of property.
I'm sorry?
You have the single large piece of property that goes quite a ways down the street.
Mine?
Yes.
Yes.
And then the 3 lots between yours and Grove Street.
Yes.
The ones, yes, and so,
And those, 2 of those houses had to share
yeah. So they
a driveway.
have one driveway for 3 houses?
2 houses.
One,
The Sarkises had a back road that came from Grove, and it swung right at the edge of my field, my meadow. And that, when that house was bought, that driveway was incorporated as their driveway. But the other 2 houses, Price and Oti, had to share a driveway. So I'm wondering, 2 more driveways.
right. Right, so certainly I was on the planning board then, and the planning board went out and made a visit, and we looked at the line of sight, plus all the substantial trees. And we
Yeah.
didn't want to, I think it was more, well, it was for safety.
It was for access onto Summer.
It was for safety, it was for cut down as few trees as possible,
That's right.
and to get the best line of sight with the driveway that was there.
Yeah, that's the wall right there.
Is this the, is it a shared driveway? It goes in and then branches off into 2,
We're trying to catch up
It goes over
with
there
you.
and it goes straight to Elena Price's house and the OT house. I'm not sure of the numbers. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah, we can ask the applicant if they consider the shared driveway or not.
Nice meeting you, sorry. I'm the owner of the lots. I know both the Ordis, sorry, and the Prices, and I know that they both bought these secondary from, so they didn't develop them themselves. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it has to do with the frontage, that wasn't enough. Could very well be also the access.
That's what, I think what we need to do is determine Why was a single driveway needed, a shared driveway needed across the street? Is there special circumstances?
We're probably talking, I was explaining that.
Well, I apologize then. I was trying to orient myself. What was the purpose for this?
So the planning board went out there and we, for a number of reasons. First of all, on the other side of the street, there's some very large old trees along the road. And that presents kind of a less of a sight distance also. So we wanted to increase this, one driveway instead of two, get the best sight distance and cut down as few trees as possible. I think we were just really trying to save as many trees as we could by having one driveway instead of two. And of course, it's always safer to have fewer driveways along the street.
If you look at an aerial of that situation as well, they have these big, long, kind of winding driveways, which is pretty different from our circumstance,
Yeah.
where our houses are closer to the street. It would be pretty awkward, honestly, to have a shared driveway with the houses like that. I mean, I see the configuration that they have, and their driveways are probably each 300 feet long, at least. So, to share an entrance for the first 50 feet, I can see,
You really think they're 300 feet?
they look pretty long to me.
Oh, those driveways are pretty long, yeah.
These two driveways here, those
Right,
are the
I
ones
see
you're talking
them.
about, right?
Well, this one is longer than this one. Yes, this is the one. And this is the road that became his driveway.
I don't know if you can do a Google Earth on there. See. Yeah, you
I
can
don't
see
know,
these
can we
two
see?
Mine
driveways.
is double the length of any of these.
This is older, right? So it's
Yeah.
these two. These two driveways, which are pretty long. Our houses are sitting up here, and their houses are
There's a third house now
3, 4.
built.
Yeah, there's a house being built
And
right
where's
here.
that driveway coming in?
It comes in right here, and it comes up.
Across.
That's what comes in where this existing,
there was
that
an
old
old
cart
road right
path
there.
was there.
Okay,
So
so
Is that a third
in relation to that driveway, where would one of your driveways be?
Hang on. I don't have that driveway on my plan, but we would have a driveway here and a driveway here. So they would be 125 feet apart, 135 feet apart, center to center. We'd have a driveway here and here. So they're not right on top of each other. They're not configured where they could be shared. You'd have to reverse one of the houses to make it happen.
And based on the plan and what I'm looking at here for an aerial, I don't see any trees.
There are no trees.
There's maybe one group of small trees
Yep.
right in between.
There's like one tree here out in
Yeah,
the field,
that's-
but there are no street trees there, no trees up along the road. There's just that slope down from the road down into the lot.
Yeah, so it's a different situation on this side of the street because the houses are so much closer to the roadway.
And
And then there's complete visibility.
this is where the road drops down as you're coming, is it north on Summer? Is it northwest? Yeah, it's a northwest road, or north-south road, sorry. So you're going, but it takes, you bend right around,
It's a curve.
right, and it goes down.
Yes, it does. And I've even been to
Quite a bit bigger
to the police to try to lower the speed rate down there. Up the top of the street, it's 30, and then as you come down the street, it's 40. And I was told it's a lot harder to lower a speed rate than to up it.
Yeah.
So it's 40, but as they say, 15% of the people speed, and it's a problem. It's a concern, let's say.
Abby, has this been, we've looked at site distance on this? Or is that the building department done this? This is not a subdivision, or is it?
Right, I mean, we've distributed the application to everyone. We didn't have any comment on it. I mean, I don't think we specifically looked at.
So Joe's office has
sightlines.
had this? Joe
Yeah.
Doyle?
Yeah, we send the application out when we received it.
So across the street, the houses are way back, so you can have a nice driveway that comes in and separates.
Well, supposedly,
Here, because the houses are forced more to the front, of the road because of the wetlands in back. The shared driveway would look kind of like, it wouldn't have the same effect. It would be literally obvious that they were sharing a driveway.
Yeah.
When we moved in, my side of Summer was a 2-acre minimum. The other side was a 1 acre, but I know they reconfigured and they have that property. But supposedly, it was also a 200-foot setback on our side of the street. And this is
Setback?
40. Now,
Oh.
maybe that's for the older homes, and mine is old. But, yep,
We don't have currently a 200-foot setback, do we? From the road for a building?
No.
All right, that was 40 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we did get those other houses set way back, away from the road, which is nice, and kept it in conformity with the other houses along. On this side of the street, though, it's a whole different situation because they have a wetlands buffer right behind their house.
right,
So we can't push their house back.
right,
That's the
okay,
wetland buffer.
I understand. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. We did.
Yeah,
we're-
I looked at it briefly myself, and I said, should they do a shared driveway? Yeah, but I didn't.
You didn't think it was necessary?
Not necessary, it wasn't that feasible to do it and have it really look good for both houses.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any other comments, board members, questions for the applicant? No?
I'm okay.
All right. Abby, are we missing anything else? Before we-
Nope, I think that was everything.
Okay. You had some considerations?
No, or these, according to the scenic roads
Okay.
regulations,
Right.
the considerations that you can review are the preservation of natural resources, environmental values, historic values, scenic and aesthetic characteristics, public safety, the actions proposed to compensate for the loss of the trees or walls, and then other sound planning considerations.
Okay.
So interestingly enough, we're not losing sections of the wall, we're really gaining them here.
That's true.
You can't see the wall.
From a visibility
Yeah.
standpoint, yeah, you were gaining 2 at the width of the driveway.
Again, when the houses are built, it'll look like they're kind of towards the front, but you gotta realize those are wetlands back there and.
Right.
And people might wonder why those houses are so close to the
Just looks
street.
like a field.
Yeah, 'cause it does look like a field, but I guess if you go back there, it starts getting wet.
It does, yes. Yep.
It's the nature of wetlands.
Yeah. So that's on, yeah,
Every time.
that's the way it is, so we much rather have the houses, you have to
Yeah,
have the houses.
don't want to
closer
affect
the
that.
road.
Okay. I think everyone who's in the room has already spoken on this matter. So at this point, I
Any
think we
comments?
can entertain a motion.
So, I move that we approve the 2 breaks in the stone walls as according to the plans.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? None.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much.
Appreciate
you
it.
coming back with us. All right, how are we doing?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in. Good night.
Appreciate that.
Abby, we're 4 minutes ahead of schedule.
Wow.
Look at that.
Don't forget to close the hearing.
Yeah, can I have
Close the hearing.
Second the motion to close.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None.
All right.
That'll do it. Number 5, town meeting zoning amendment, continued public hearing For Articles 20 through 32, prepare for town meeting.
Okay.
Prepare for town meeting.
So you voted at your last meeting on all the articles. I think what we typically do is we have a PowerPoint ready as a backup if needed, if there's any discussion. So I don't think you don't typically do a presentation, but at the start of each zoning article, the town moderator will ask for the planning board's report. They'll also ask for the FinCom's recommendation, and then it'll be open up to discussion by the town meeting members. So usually the chairman will go up and report the planning board's recommendation. So I wrote up what you had voted on last time, and then I prepared trying to just basic slides. So let me know if you have any comments, just I guess on each one in case there's any discussion items. A lot of times we never show these, but we have these ready. So Article 20 is to prohibit the non-medical marijuana in all zoning districts. Depending on how tomorrow's election goes, we might need to meet before town meeting. If the election does not vote to prohibit the facilities, then it'd be best if we could meet before, and then you'd make an amendment for town meeting. So I would prepare that up in writing and get that to the town moderator, and we'd want to update this. But right now this shows the medical still being allowed by special permit in the ARO zone, and then the non-medical being prohibited throughout town.
So if the town votes to allow non-medical marijuana, we'll look at the same thing, but ARO will show BA?
Yes,
Okay.
that will be the amendment. Yep. Any questions on this slide? Any changes?
Signage in town, it'd be either pro or con, so who knows
haven't
what'll
seen
happen.
I haven't seen
Any
anything.
I
signs?
had one person ask me about it, and just devil's advocate would be thinking like, what would we do if someone stood up and said, "How can you let all this tax revenue go?" And like, why isn't the town interested in this? And I think it's we're a conservative town, so I don't expect a lot of that.
But
The vote is happening tomorrow.
the town did vote quite forcefully.
It was
for
like 60-40,
for
wasn't
the
it?
medical marijuana.
Of this 12 people voted.
The other way. So, I know there were some problems with the sample ballot, and did they redo the wording, not just adding that one word, but the explanation, did they make that clearer? Because it was mostly
Was it more
repeating
clear?
the
Okay.
previous wording.
Yes, it was updated.
Yeah.
It was,
I read it.
hopefully
It was
it's,
updated, and I thought the explanation
was
was
it
clear.
clear?
They
Yeah.
made the explanation clearer than what it was before.
I thought so, and I
Right.
read it from the website.
Right.
On Friday.
yep. So Jana saw the final
Okay,
version.
it's
I
back
looked
on-
at it
it's
too.
back on the website?
Yep, it's
Yeah.
back on the
Yeah,
website,
it
yep.
was taken down when I pointed out the
Right.
problem.
For about a very brief moment, it was not as clear, and Steve saw that, and we updated it. Okay. Anyone have any suggested changes for the slide? Anything else? Okay. All right, the next one, all right, accessory apartments. So this might be one of the articles that probably gets the most
I think your pictures
attention.
are better.
Okay. Yes, so I really want everyone to look at the pictures. So I'm going to show you some pictures of the existing accessory apartments we have in town. So this is that one on Lull Street that came up during the public hearing.
And
You remember?
At one
This is
time,
a-
we were saying 49, and the actual number was 45.
The real number is 45. I think off the top of my head, I thought it was 49 before I reviewed the full list.
And one of those 45 has not been constructed.
Right, and they were at the last zoning board meeting requesting their permit be extended. Yeah. So this is the Lull Street property, and then these are other photos throughout town of
These are all
these are all accessory apartments.
Accessory apartments.
See, they're
Is the accessory, is it detached in that bottom left? Is it
yeah.
the
Do you
barn?
want to guess where they? This one. There's one around the side here. You can see there's a driveway over on this side. And then, see here? And this is, the main house is here, and then there was the apartment up there. There was a second door here. And then this one, you really can't tell. I imagine it's probably in that back barn. So a lot of them, the only way you can tell is from having the mailboxes, if they're out on the
So on the one
front.
in the bottom right, is there another driveway there you can't?
Yes, I just couldn't get it in the photo. I cut it off a little bit. But yep, there's a driveway on the left side. But it's not like a double-sized driveway. It's a small driveway. And these are other ones. I know the one in the bottom left, there is 2 doors that you could see up front. And then I think the picture on the top left too, there is that second door over to the left, and that was a addition.
The one in the upper right's brand new, isn't
We
it?
just did that. How
Yeah.
did they get
Yeah.
their permit? Or have they had it for a long time or something?
Or there might have been one from the previous
Um,
house.
Ah, yeah, probably.
Right, I don't remember the date on that, but yeah, that's right near you. I think,
Someone
right, that's,
just flipped
Cla-
that.
I
I've
think,
Seen
is
two
there?
right near me. Stunning.
Yeah, and
There must be a
Clapper Tree
glut
Street.
of accessory apartments in Clapper Tree Street, because my neighbor has one too.
Yes, I know, but I couldn't, you can't see it. You can't really see it from the road because they have a lot of trees. So the picture I took was, I would have had to go all the way into the driveway.
On that one, then,
Oh.
right, isn't that the one that had a underground railroad tunnel or something in the
This is Grove Street? Oh,
top right?
the
That's
top.
Clapham Tree, isn't it?
Yes.
The Thatcher.
Yep, past Thatcher. And then the bottom right is one on Grove Street.
Oh, that's the Rogers house? That one?
What?
No, at Clapper and,
It's
it's on Clapper just before Thatcher.
right, or just, I guess it's near Thatcher now, I can't remember what.
If you're coming from
Yeah, it's
Manhattan,
just been
it's just
remodeled.
after
And that
that.
was always a bread and breakfast.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so now it's an accessory apartment.
Okay. Then, Summer Street, right next to where we were just looking. This is that field where those new lots are gonna go. So this is 284 Clapper Street, so I think it's one back there. And this is another one on Summer Street, the top right. That's Summer Street just across from the field that we were just talking about, across from 300 Summer Street. And then I think one's on the top left is Arcadia, and then one on Marjorie Way. And I think that's it. That's it for
Sound
those.
like the ZBA
So are
did a
the
good job
so
approving
I think if
signs.
anyone, yeah, and because a lot of them you really, some of them I went to, you really couldn't even see. The houses are set so far back that you can't even see from the street. So, like I took a couple pictures, but it's just a driveway. So I think these examples are better than my other picture. Or I guess if anyone asks, we can show the pictures of what some of them look like. And then Article 25 is a storage facility. I couldn't find any storage facility that would look like comply with our zoning. So,
Yeah. We have.
of our, way set back from the road because they're all right on. Because most of them are right on major highways and don't have much landscaping, have a lot of parking. So I couldn't find any examples of what we would want it to look like, or from our zoning.
Nor would we see it.
But the one on East Street is the way
A
they
little
would
bit
look,
better.
but it would, at the East Street Rotary, only in the future it would be further from the
Oh,
road.
yeah, okay. Should I put a picture of the one we have in town then? That
Sure,
one?
that-
Okay,
that's-
I'll put that picture in,
That's the
okay.
one that,
Yeah, that's not a drive.
Yep.
Yeah, I
drive
think-
up.
it doesn't have a lot of,
Okay.
it just has,
Yeah, you have
main
to go
entranceway
inside.
and,
Yeah,
It's the closest, I agree, it's the closest I
Okay.
can come up with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think whatever's on the screen, that's, people are gonna assume.
Right, that's what's coming.
that is
And
coming.
That's not
Okay.
what's coming.
Okay,
Make a big
okay.
red.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you should show that.
Okay,
And that
show
was
the
one
picture,
where
and
through
maybe write, I could write under it, like,
you can
would
see
need
the
to be set
doors
back.
Through the windows, And I think they originally, the doors were all painted red, and we made them,
Okay.
paint them blue or something, and
Okay,
so they wouldn't be so obvious.
okay. I'll get a good picture of that. And then, okay, and this is the map of the, or maybe I should write on there, prohibited, the green diagonals or something. If anyone asks, that's where they can't be located within the 200 feet of those major roads.
That doesn't leave, go back, that doesn't leave much on University Ave, does it? Well, that's actually
I mean, in the back,
in the back.
of
Yeah.
properties.
I don't know if that slide's necessary.
Okay.
I think it'll-
Yeah, it's way more
Okay.
confusing.
The one on
than
the
helpful.
right is just, there are too many overlay
Yeah,
districts.
there's
in
too
that
much.
area there.
All right, so just take the slide out?
Just take it out.
Take out.
Just
Or get rid of
words.
all the background stuff. I mean, what we're supposed to be looking at is
Yeah.
the green stripes.
Yep,
If you just show the green stripes and get rid of all the other stuff, just make it all yellow.
okay,
Just to show, all you're trying to do is show people, this is where we're talking about.
Yeah.
okay.
They don't need to
Okay.
know all the different,
Zoning
Zone.
districts.
Get the whole university have like one solid color without all
Okay.
those dots and.
and I'd say the
lines
same
and
thing
stuff.
for the one on the left.
Yeah,
It's-
I can't
Oh,
see it.
okay.
It doesn't matter if it's purple or lavender with green squares. They just want to know what we're talking about.
Okay. All right, we can do that. So this is the solar, the roof mounted on the principal building by right, and then the ground or other by special permit.
Is that an actual one in town or?
No.
somewhere else?
No, it's somewhere else. We only have one in town, and it's way in the back of someone's lot.
The first picture, is that in town?
Is that a Westwood
No,
house?
no,
Is
it's
there
not.
some, I've seen
Should
some
I?
in town that look similar to that, I don't know, I guess it's,
I don't think you need
Do
to
we want
point
one?
out somebody's house in town meeting if we have a good representation
Yeah, that's
of
perfect.
someone else's.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
could, if you want to scare people, you could put the ground mounted that are on the pike as you go. It's just acres of solar.
Yeah.
That would need special permit. Someone owns that kind of land. Those things are amazing, how big they are.
Yeah. Earth material movement, I don't, it's not much to show, but we're really changing the permit type. Special permit to EIDR. Actually, I should just write that in there.
Right, what?
Yeah, special permit to EIDR.
It should say that we're changing it to something, from something to something. So,
I do think having these up on the screen would be helpful, like while it's.
While it's going, okay.
One like this hopefully would be not much interest and all, but just having it up there so people know what the heck.
Okay, well, I could ask some moderator just to have them up as they go to each one.
yeah, we don't run through them, we do a vote in between each one. So you have to go up, talk about it, go sit down, do a vote, get up, talk about it. So, yeah, I think it's fine to have the pictures. Just, who needs to run that? The town meeting runs the laptop that would have this on it.
A lot of
Alice
times,
would need to
Christine,
know.
you're right. I'll check in with usually Christine will be in charge of the laptop and the little clicker, but
Right.
I can review that with her. This is the lighting one, to identify the security lights, non-security lights, turning off after business, and clarifying the height. I don't, this is kind of a wordy one, but this is our non-conforming uses and structures one.
Right.
I just tried to put it in
Does this
one
closely
slide.
match what the town has written as a explanation?
What we've proposed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what we use for the public hearings with FinCom. It's just on one slide.
Because those people who come likely have read the booklet, so they've read
Yeah.
something about it. So I just
Yeah.
want to make sure this
So-
doesn't
Right, so I wrote.
contradict or,
Nope, it says rewrite section 4.56 to change the process for the substantial alterations or reconstructions. Vertical and horizontal extensions of exterior walls at same distance or further from the property line allowed by special permit. And then I added that bullet about that the zoning board had recommended that certain items could be, still go closer to the lot line by special permit. And then creates consistency with conforming and non-conforming properties.
And one of the things, if I remember from the FinCom discussion, where they got more comfortable was when Nora explained that the variance could be obtained by a hardship, a financial hardship. If even having to build it on another side of your house to be conforming creates a financial hardship, it's going to be 3 times more expensive to build it, then that could qualify for a variance. I think that's where many of the FinCom members got comfortable with this. Instead of being a harsh variance, it's a little easier to obtain or
So
open the door to
maybe,
discussion.
so should I write like next to, on the first bullet where it says variance, I could put,
No, I
based on
think that's just
hardship
gonna
or
be too many
something,
words.
okay, yeah.
But I think it's important to,
Make
if,
sure we
if board members get asked the question, why are you being so harsh to these homeowners with a variance? It's, our bylaw for a variance is maybe a little more relaxed than other towns in opening the financial hardship, not just the other hardships.
But it doesn't really state that the variance is harder to get.
No, it's the
Right.
not,
I,
right.
right, I guess it
but I
doesn't,
don't think you
okay.
need to get into that.
Should,
People will look at it and say, so what?
right, so should,
Well, you can,
Oh, right,
you
so
can just
not
say
everyone
to a, just, from a special permit to a more scrutinizing variance, or something, I don't know.
Something like that. I'm trying to
okay,
get the
or
word
something
out.
to make it,
To get a,
okay,
Anyone else have an idea to quickly describe the difference between a variance and a special permit?
okay.
Special permit to the more stringent variance.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, more
do-
stringent
okay.
variance, yeah.
Word,
Yeah.
SAT.
Not astringent, just stringent.
Thanks, okay.
Well, it shifts, you don't want to say the burden, but it shifts the burden onto the homeowner to show hardship in the case of a variance versus just, I don't know, it's a burden shift. But
Maybe I could add another bullet that just says
I
like,
think it's gonna get
No,
Okay.
way too
Okay.
complicated to
Yeah.
read.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I think it'll get discussed if someone has a big issue with
Okay.
it, somebody will ask.
Yeah, and
okay.
Get answered.
we might have, this is one of the ones we had the most discussion
Discussion
points on
on,
with
yep.
FinCom, so.
Yep,
I imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if
Okay.
some builders in town got up and started talking about this.
okay. And then 30 is the corner clearance one. Is that picture okay, do you think? That was a picture.
Oh, those are sidewalks, that's okay.
That is a picture of the one.
What, Courier Farm?
Yes.
In Canton
In
Street?
Canton Street, yeah.
It's right by the corner of Blue Hill Ave.
Yeah.
What is on the road there? The-
It looks like a street
Oh, is
cleaner.
that the police?
And
sign?
it's,
Is that the
they were doing
street
work.
sign?
Oh, that?
Yeah, well, I can't see.
It's kind of orange with a white
The
frame
yeah.
around it.
That's no, it's a piece of equipment. I don't know.
Snowplow.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Bobcat?
No, I don't think so. I think it was like a bobcat. I think there was some construction going on over there.
Oh, and there's one there's one of those signs that they never removed after the construction.
It says road work. Road work ahead.
They put them up and do the construction and never take them down, and that's one of them right there.
Well, there is a bobcat right across from it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it was
At that
still
moment
ongoing
in
at the
time,
time.
It was warning you that construction
could happen at any
the
time.
East Street Rotary up ahead, which is one of it.
Oh, that's.
Pop-up constructions are happening everywhere.
Article 31 was about the increase in the fines. And then 32 was housekeeping, just all of our housekeeping, and the one map change of from Dover Road. No, Birch Tree Drive, yep. The connection from Birch Tree to Dover.
Dover Terrace. And you know someone's gonna come up and say, you're paving that over? It's
Oh,
turning,
yeah.
you're connecting?
No.
They're gonna, someone's gonna either
So
ask their,
It was shown on
neighbor or-
our zoning map as an undesignated, but the proposal is to change it to SRC. Actually, I should write that on there, SRC. Beside proposed, I'll write to SRC.
Where you,
What do you
writing
say?
Like right here, I guess I propose to SRC zone.
No.
You don't think I need to?
that will
Okay.
mean nothing to most
Yeah,
Okay.
people.
people will just
Okay.
get more confused.
They don't know the zoning
They'll
map?
say,
Okay,
that doesn't spell a
No, they
word.
don't know
Okay.
what SRC is.
okay.
I don't even think you should have this one.
Don't,
No, I
well,
think that's gonna cause so much, what is that?
Yeah,
well, but I
you're
think for
right.
maps, you have to show the map. Or we didn't last time and someone just said, can you show it on a map?
You know what?
Oh, there's the
I would get
elephant.
rid of the other map, get rid of the town map.
The whole zoning map one? Okay.
Yeah.
And just have the
Just use
close-up?
the other one, the
Okay.
change, the
Okay.
changes.
Yeah.
It'll
Article.
show better, it'll show bigger.
Yeah,
Put
put
them
one-
side by
yeah,
side.
put one on the
Article
left and one on the
32.
right,
That's,
yeah.
that bottom, it looks, I mean, that looks very strange.
I know, it's because it's not in our GIS yet, it's the PDF, and then I zoomed way in. I can talk to Hans to see if there's a way to make it look exactly like the existing one, right? Is that, I know, I don't know.
He probably could
just-
change it like temporarily and then
Uh-huh.
send it to you. and-
Okay,
I
I'll
mean,
see about that.
You can, a reasonable person can understand, you're talking about the same area. I mean, the horseshoe, the U-turn or whatever, I mean, it's pretty obvious you're talking about the same road.
Is it worth like,
You're
you
just
know,
connecting them.
is it, well, I don't think you'd say this, but, I mean, the real issue, the underlying issue behind this is that the inaccuracy in the map was a component of a lot of misunderstanding that led to a big
I probably-
controversy.
Right, the fact that it didn't go through, if people ask, you don't have to, I mean, so we're doing this just to clean up, so it represents what really is.
I wouldn't,
Yeah.
get too deep into this.
But if
Okay.
somebody asks, why are you doing this, it's fine to say, this is, we're
Because-
just trying to make it accurate. It has been a cause of confusion in the past, but we're cleaning it up now so no one's confused.
Okay,
It's just a response to a possible question.
okay,
But I wouldn't put it up there. I would just say existing, proposed, and I would drop the
Okay,
town one.
and drop
People
the
who
town
are that
one. Oh,
interested
okay.
know what you're talking about.
okay.
You can identify the roads, Birch Tree and
Okay.
Dover Terrace, but.
Or Abby, is there a way that we could use the existing one and then just right where the white is, like where it extends, we could just make that yellow or erase it like?
Yeah, we probably could. Okay, I'll try to make it cleaner so they really match the
Yeah.
existing and proposed, okay.
Clear it up.
Or even if you just, if you did the Google map for this, it clearly it won't have anything there. And so you're really trying to say this is matching
Oh,
reality.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but
Because I
it's
think
nice-
some people would say, oh, you're gonna tear up that road? It's like.
Okay, there is no road, okay, okay.
Let's not introduce more confusion.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
don't
nice to have
claim
the
that, so.
maps looking as close to each other as they can without.
Okay. All right. I think was that our last slide? Oh, yeah, no, just the rest of Article 32 is, if anyone asks. Corrects the section numbers.
Oh, well, maybe you should just put one slide down there and just, in the empty space at the bottom, put the side by side, the two other pictures.
Talking
Put
about
it
that
all in
last
one?
bullet point?
Yeah.
Map change, Birch Tree Drive.
Okay, put it
And then
all.
show the map.
Okay.
Yeah, show it right there,
Okay.
right in that empty space.
Yeah,
Okay.
less slides are better,
Okay,
and it is part of Article
Yeah.
32.
And then you can just go on and stay on during the
Okay.
article and you don't have
Okay.
to switch.
okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, is that it for town meeting articles?
Do we
Yes.
want to discuss like when the petition articles come up and people raise issues about those petition articles? I think we should defend the existing FMUODs because if those articles pass, it screws up it guts the whole thing. So we should kind of think,
Well, we have, our position is in the booklet, or is
Right.
it just the FinComs?
Yours is in the booklet, but they will, for every zoning article, so it'll be 20 then Chris will get up and give your recommendation, and then it'll go to the 3 petition articles. So
12 times I have to get up?
No.
Well,
no, I
right.
thought
Kind of the petition articles.
Right, but
I thought you
you,
would do the petition article separately.
What numbers are the
Right.
petition articles?
Are-
The first.
no, the marijuana one's for some reason first, 20.
Yeah.
And then 21 is the housing one. Then 22 and 23 are the FMUD Washington High Street petition articles. Then it goes to all the rest of yours.
Yeah, I think.
So I think if you get
the
up-
last time you get up and you just
Yep.
come off all the rest.
Yep.
Do the first one separately and then
Yep.
the last one. Yeah, just-
The marijuana one?
no,
Yeah.
no, no. Do the marijuana separately.
Yep,
then
marijuana.
the 3 petition
3
articles
petitioners
separately.
separately,
And then the first planning board
which is
article,
accessory
strictly
apartment.
for- Yeah, the accessory apartment.
Right.
Just do it, just
Right.
give them all.
Right.
Yeah, I think
So
I
I-
did that
I
last
think-
time. I just-
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I started a little script for you,
Great.
just so you can read from that, but I'll send that
We
to
can
you.
meet
But yeah,
this later this week if you want to go
Yeah.
over that.
Well,
or,
I think like the presentation you gave at the FinCom that was really good in terms of the background. I mean, we don't want to have that much time at town meeting, but I think it's important to, this is a chance to have a discussion and have people consider the possibility of taking this away and then vote to not take it away. And so I think kind of it would affirm the whole.
So you're saying present to town like we did to FinCom?
I think the case should be made, because otherwise it will be, the proponents will make their case, lots of people will ask questions, and I just think that we should stand up for the impact of what those changes would be. You know, that the zoning as it is was designed to bring in, an opportunity for development, and, that we need to.
So,
we need to
so are
address-
you saying don't give the same level of background? Because I think we did give a lot of background of why the FMUOD came about, why residential within the FMUOD came about after it was there for a year or two, then we brought residential in. So we were trying to explain to FinCom, why do we even have this here? And to your point, it was to bring in possible better projects that otherwise would never have come before us if residence wasn't even a discussion point as a use.
You're making it sound like the mixed use in High Street and Washington Street was an afterthought.
I am,
And, well,
I'm not trying to.
okay, so.
No, but the chronology of events was we brought it in without residential first for a year. Then we brought it in,
FMUOD,
yeah.
and we call it FML. Yeah, because I think we included Washington Street and High Street because they're obvious, but we didn't get to the level where we knew we wanted to fix, and we've been wanting for a very long time, to fix High Street and Washington Street to create a real, village zoning, which we hadn't done. And we brought in the FMUOD for general kinds of projects all over town. But we had more to do to think about how we're going to do it on High Street and Washington Street, because it involves more changing setbacks and things like that.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think chronologically speaking, though, we made them FMUOD overlay districts
Yeah.
without the use of residential first. Then we brought in residential a year later at town meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying,
I wouldn't.
we don't have to
See,
delve
I
into
wouldn't even
that.
remember that, because I don't think that's an important point. You might, but if
I'm
you
not
make-
disagreeing with
yeah,
that
if
either.
you emphasize that point, it sounds like we,
Right.
it was an afterthought.
We had
It was-
pause.
It was not. I think the pause was, the 1 year pause was so we could examine all the specifics for High Street and Washington Street that we wanted to do. Not that we were, it's very clear that we wanted mixed use on High Street and Washington Streets from way back when we did the original comprehensive plan in the year 2000. And so I think you should present it that way. Since our comprehensive plan in 2000, we realized that we've got to change the zoning on High Street and Washington Street to, in a lot of cases, reduce setbacks, bring back multiple use, and so we reestablished the village atmosphere that was there for hundreds of years.
All right, well, that sounds, explaining that sounds very similar to how we explained it at the FinCom meeting.
Right, so
And then concluded.
staff was working, I know Nora had been working on a presentation, a draft, from the administration based on what you did at the FinCom's hearing. So, but kind of compiling the history and the background of your recommendation, FinCom's recommendation, and then more about the zoning, more background. So I think the town staff is working on a presentation too. So I was thinking that the planning board should be prepared to answer questions and comments, but I didn't prepare an actual presentation from you. I think you'll have your report, and then to be there from, your report is the recommendation, and then to be there to respond to questions.
Yeah, usually you get the sense as the you give your recommendation, then there's the back and forth discussion, and somebody will pose a question to the planning board. We'd like some more information or something like that. Could be someone on our side or someone against us. Will pose a question, either give us an opportunity to talk or to try to throw us off or a game or something like that. A question is likely to be asked of the planning board, and that's when you come up with the background information. But I think you're right. I think the recommendation should kind of stand on its own to start with. And then once it's challenged to some extent, then you offer further background.
I think the context, like how Steve was laying that out, is helpful because of one of the arguments will be, well, we don't need residential because you originally did it without residential and you added that. And it's like, but there's been a history that goes back a lot longer than just the last 2 or 4 years. And so I think that's one important contextual thing to answer on that. And the other is just that, this is the village. The idea of the whole point of this is to revitalize a village, to create a village with people in it, not a commercial district. And so I think there are I think it's important to, well, as you say, I don't think you get up there and give a long, boring thing. People are going to tune out. But when they ask questions, there are a lot of good things to answer.
I mean, historically, multiple use, which is people living and working in their same house or home, has always been there. And when zoning was invented, they somehow got a little carried away and said, let's separate everything else. Have people living in one place, people working somewhere else, have the retail somewhere else. And they did such a point that they actually, all over the country, went and outlawed residential over retail in these villages and downtown centers. And finally, people realized that was maybe not such a good idea, and let's bring back that old village feel by having people living in the same place that there was retail.
Yeah. So I expect there will be a presentation to start. I'm not sure who will give that, but there will be one summarizing the background and the
Right.
context.
All that we just discussed.
But if you could, let's see, if we could, so you usually meet before town meeting anyways?
As an advertised meeting?
Yes, or, I mean, we just
Usually
post
only
it
do that if we have
if we
something.
need to, right? So
to clean
if we
up
could
before
just,
town
if you could just hold up, town meeting starts at 7:30, if we could just
I think
find
you,
out.
I think you need to schedule the meeting,
Yep,
and just in case.
yeah, but I figure we'll do it
just
on
in case
Wednesday.
The article.
Ballot question.
The marijuana question doesn't
Yeah, you know
pass.
tomorrow
Okay.
night that
Yeah.
passes.
And, we'll have
So-
plenty of time to know.
So I'll let you know on Wednesday, we'll let you know about
Yeah.
meeting before town meeting, if that's okay. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Town meeting related?
No.
Upcoming ZBA applications? Oh, no, sorry, number 6. Approval of performance guarantee and endorsement of Canton
Nope, you
Terrace.
didn't get that.
We move
That's
it? Do we
not
need
on the
to-
agenda. No, there's no action that you needed. I just put it on just in case you received it.
Okay, which we did not.
Right.
ZBA apps?
They have 5 Highview Street, if you recall. Habitat for Humanity almost a year ago, submitted an application for the house at this location. That application was appealed, so they've refiled. They're proposing a house on an undersized lot, so it doesn't meet all the setbacks.
So again, they were going for a special permit.
No, they filed before they filed the variance, which the variance was appealed. Now it's been filed as a comprehensive permit.
As a 40B?
As a full, yep. So that's why it took a lot longer, because they had to
Oh,
get
so,
the
that's
state's
coming-
approval from DHCD for, to be an official 40B.
So they're coming for the ZBA for a 40B
Yep, for
permit.
one house, yep,
for one house.
on Highview. And then the other application, let's see, there was, I think it's a shed, retroactive approval for a shed within the rear setback. And then 46 Washington Street, that is a house with a barn that's single family proposed for a 2-family conversion in the general residence district.
Does that trigger the historical demolition delay?
Yes, so that, the Historic Commission will also be holding a hearing on May 9th. Unfortunately, it's the same night as your meeting. They'll be at Town Hall for the demolition of,
Which building?
it's 46 Washington Street. There's a house and a barn. And the barn
It's
is,
bigger than the house.
yes, the barn is, I don't remember when the estimated
Whereabouts
construction
on
is.
Washington Street is it?
Between Loring and Lull Street, I think.
It's a yellow.
Actually, let me see, I might have a,
It's a big lot that's surrounded by the, it's right up from Hogan Tire.
yes, it's cool.
It just got demolished there. Not that far up.
I thought I had a picture of it.
There's a big open lot now
So
in
there's,
Washington.
You can find it in the zoning draft.
Okay, I know, I thought I took a picture of it and I don't,
Loring and all
and
the
saved it right in here, did I?
smaller lots come off of here, and there's this big lot.
It's on the same side.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, Hogan Tire
Um,
is here.
Okay, yeah.
This one. See, this is the barn in the back here.
Oh, wait.
And they want to demolish just the barn or the barn and the house?
Both. But I think the barn is what the Historic Commission will certainly be interested in. So I don't know if anyone, if you have any additional comments on any of the applications.
Thought about buying it twice, so that's kind of. It's
So, the telephone pole at Hogan, that's coming before the selectmen
Oh.
next week?
Let me check.
As I know,
Yes,
that
I
was-
did.
How are they
So, okay.
operating? If this was so necessary. They're open, there's a big open
Right,
sign.
they have temporary power.
Service, I think.
Yeah,
Wasn't that part of what they were
Yeah.
They're somehow suffering along with their old service.
So-
Yeah.
So, the selectmen have been informed of where we stand on this? Or they will be?
I've noted it, I haven't officially sent any comments in.
Oh, well, make
So
sure,
I
we gotta
should-
get to them, because it's already on their agenda.
Okay, I didn't know it was. Okay. All right, I'll let them know.
Yeah, I don't know where it is on Washington, but there was a building taken down somewhere else. It's a big
Oh.
open lot now.
Actually, it was a
What
bunch
was
of
that?
trees that were taken down.
Is that what it is?
I don't, it's right
I
out.
drove by now, it looks like a missing tooth. What
It's
was there
directly,
before?
out from Cooper Street, so it's almost in my backyard, or across the street, but there's a red house, and then there's this huge open field now. They took all these trees and things out. I don't know what, small trees, but it was
Does
used.
that house have a circle drive? you're talking
The red
about?
house does still have a circle,
Okay, I see the trees then you're talking about now.
but to the
Across
left-
from Hooper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what's going on there. It's a big lot.
I saw it, I'm like, what came down? It didn't occur to me it was just trees, but, okay.
This is actually, there's a Washington Street address, Washington Street is right in front of it,
Yep.
and it goes all the way back to where the
Yeah.
barn
It's just sold off all their land. Make all those houses a long time ago.
I think it was a 1750 or something.
Yeah.
It's older than the Hart Tavern.
Yeah.
Those houses
it
were
is.
likely
Wow.
built in the 30s or 40s. The capes on the left. Could be
Yeah.
50s, but it doesn't matter. All right. That's it for
So
ZBA?
that's just the
Yep.
driveway, you see there.
Yeah.
Yes. We did our signings. Any committee reports?
Oh, actually, I do have just the cover sheet for, sorry, I forgot, the, Mayfair, yes, that's right. I'll just pass that down.
Oh, I saw that in question mark. I thought we already signed all the Mayfair stuff. What did we just sign? Oh, that was the
The
A&R.
A&Rs.
All Giorgio's A&Rs.
There's going to be a groundbreaking for the I-95 interchange project on Thursday, May 4th, 10 a.m., if you can make it. I assume, said more details, so hopefully the location will be
So I was thinking
finalized.
of, maybe I should email the secretary and say, I'm assuming you're gonna take the train to get down there, and I'll be happy
Okay.
to pick you up
Okay.
to the train station, or? Is it okay,
missed that.
is
What?
it
You
okay
said
for
the shuttle
me
bus,
to,
huh?
is it okay for me to do that?
To do what? I missed.
Well, the
for
governor
the
and the
governor.
secretary are going to be at the groundbreaking on Dedham Street.
What do you want to do?
Well, send them an email saying, I'm assuming Secretary of Transportation will be taking a train to the station, and I'll be happy to pick her up and bring her over.
What about a bus?
Or if you got a lot, if they have a lot of people, we can arrange a shuttle bus for them. Could we,
Okay.
why don't we
Yep.
contact them and ask them that?
Would the
Okay.
Secretary of
Okay.
Transportation equally be allowed to use our highway system? Are you not, you begrudging that?
Well, since,
It's an interstate
part of
highway.
our-
It's part of the interstate highway system right there.
Drop in on a helicopter, right?
Yeah.
but
A pad?
since she's a strong supporter of the T system and transit-oriented development, figured, well, she should be
She and the governor.
taking the train.
Where is this happening?
I don't know yet. I mean, it didn't have, it said details to follow, so I don't know
Yeah,
exactly where we're
obviously,
meeting. I don't
right
know
on the
exactly
bridge
where.
over there.
Standing on the road,
On the river,
in the middle of
Townsend
traffic,
River.
right,
Canton, Norwood, and Westwood come together as a family.
that would be right above the river, right?
All right. Any committee reports? Islington, anything new to?
I unfortunately missed the last meeting. I don't know if, Abby, did you attend
Right.
the last meeting where we talked about
Yes.
whatever we talked about?
So the committee met,
Hopefully not.
I think it was the day after your last meeting, I think, was that April 12th? Their next meeting, they're gonna break over the summer, but they're gonna have joint meetings with the selectmen when they start reviewing the response to the town's RFP. So those selectmen dates that they had picked were May 15th, either May 31st or June 1st, and then June 19th. I think the selectmen will be just reviewing those dates at their next meeting just to confirm them, because I don't know if they've been finalized yet, but those are the dates they are looking at. So the first one would be for a presentation from the developer, Petruzziello. Then the second meeting was intended to be public comment session, and then the third one was for the Board of Selectmen to start discussion and deliberation. And then the task force, they reviewed some zoning in the Islington area and then started looking at the master plan, and they want to start looking at trying to update at least the Islington Village section and maybe make some recommendations for kind of that steering committee to serve when we do the master plan update. So they'll likely in September start working on the comprehensive plan update, or at least looking at the village center section.
Oh, so this is
So
another
that-
argument we could use, that for the petition articles, is that that's the wrong way to go changing things. The right way is through a committee like this, which looks comprehensively at the zoning.
That's a good point.
And deliberates upon it and comes up with good solutions.
And that
Yeah.
harkens back to the comprehensive plan, because they
Yeah.
talk about that,
Yeah.
designated
Yeah.
focus on the village
Village
areas.
centers,
So what
yeah.
we did was, according to the comprehensive plan, if it needs to be tweaked because it doesn't quite work as well as some of the residents at Hope, then we should tweak it accordingly with a process like this, rather than going through petition articles.
Right, so when they last met in April, they looked at that, the village center goals and objectives and action items that were in the master plan now, that's 2001, and looked at those, and then want to continue thinking about if they've been achieved, if they're still relevant, and what should be changed.
Good.
That's
You always got to
all I
keep
have to-
revisiting those
yeah.
to make sure that they're
Yeah.
working. If they're not, you got to make a change. It's very similar to the nonconformity, that we're trying to fix something.
Mm-hmm.
That's our goal.
I just had a question about the committees. We have probably all got a letter from Christine about whether we wish to continue in our roles. What is the precedent for ongoing individual member participation in different committees? I'm just curious. I don't know what's been done in the past. I mean, I'm part of the Transportation Committee or the Regional Transportation Advisory Council. It's very wordy. And then and obviously ICTF. I mean, is there precedent for sort of switching up roles because to get some different exposures or not? Or how does this work?
Yeah.
Well, this has come up before, and since I held many of those positions, and at one point they said,
Really, Steve?
they said, well, we ought to give somebody else a chance so that they could be knowledgeable on it. And so that's why now I'm the alternate on a number of those. I'm the alternate, but on the Regional Transportation Advisory Council,
Right.
I'm the alternate on TRIC, and so other members of the planning board are participating and becoming knowledgeable on this. And Dave is, while I'm at it, I mentioned that at the TRIC meeting last week, they had a presentation from MAPC on their program that looks at sidewalks and pedestrian routes in your area, and it determines by where the people are and where they want to go, where the need for sidewalks are. And it prioritizes them in a better way than, waiting until someone complains or whatever way you use it.
Usual way.
It's injured.
And, we looked at, and Chelsea was there showing that, and I know when we were at the open house, we actually looked at Canton Street, and didn't look right, and the reason was they didn't know about the little pathway from the end of, from Forbes to Hawk Tree, which changes the whole way everyone moves in that area.
Who didn't know about it?
And the MAPC didn't have it, they didn't have that programmed in, that as even existing in their program there.
So what else are they missing?
So-
Other towns.
Well, that's why you have to, that's why
It has to be done by each town and submitted to.
That's why
everybody.
you need to check it and make sure, the towns need to check it when they use it, to make sure it is correct, but it is a good tool.
But to Trevor's question, I think, as an example, when I joined 5 years ago, I was put on TRIC. I stayed there for 4 years, and then I was assistant on fair housing. Never went to a fair housing. I don't even know if they had a meeting in 4 years. Now I'm on fair housing and the long-range financial planning, and Mike took over at TRIC. But there was never, in those 4 years, there was never talk about, it was more of a, and we did it the first meeting after town meeting. That's when
Right.
things are
Yeah, I
assigned.
remember. Yeah, that's what we.
But there was never really talk about moving things, shifting things around.
Right, right.
Not to say you can't be, you asked what the precedent was. There really was no discussion about
Well, you
actively changing
can,
it around.
right.
I think it was, didn't we just decide as a group? Like, I think that I got
Oh, yeah,
that, and I'm
we-
like, oh, should I
yeah.
just re-up my alternate
Right.
membership?
Well,
First
well,
of
we're-
all, I sent my thing back to her and saying, don't forget, and she said, yeah. that the planning board meets and decides and forwards a
Right.
recommendation to the.
So at your
So
next
we don't really
meeting,
need to
right, so at your
find
next
particular-
meeting on May 9th, you always reorganize. It's a meeting after town meeting. You reorganize and vote for a new chair, vice chair, and secretary, and then you also revisit all those committees. So all those committee appointments. So you can discuss those next time about which ones you like and want to stay on, or if you want to switch up your committees. Then we give that recommendation to the selectmen for them to do. They do the appointments usually in June, I think, or appointments and reappointments.
Process it.
So what I found over many years of being on these committees is, it's not a good idea just to switch for the sake of switching.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of my question.
Continuity is helpful.
The continuity,
Right.
you takes a while to learn what the organization is all about and to be effective and knowledgeable in serving there. So it's a good idea to stay on and, until such time as there's a reason to.
Right, right. I guess I was also thinking in the context of the fact that there is a contested seat on our board going up tomorrow, and there's 2 next year. So if all of those change, all continuity will be lost. I guess is what I was wondering
that's-
about.
Well, that would
That's
happen.
the-
Obviously, that's
That's just
That
the
would happen
byproduct.
anytime the
So,
board changes,
Right.
right?
Yep.
But as long as the same person is there, I think they should continue on, unless they found it was just not the fit for them.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay. We were on committee reports. Is that it? Anyone else? Anything to add?
So I worked my trick committee report.
Yeah, I noted
Slipped
that.
it
Nice
in.
work.
Smooth segue. The dulcet tones of Steve Olenoff. Okay. No topics that were not reasonably anticipated?
No.
Reasonably anticipated everything. Minutes, none.
Sorry, we're still working on those.
So is it- get-
And
So the button,
getting back
nothing
to the opening on the Dedham Street, construction of the Dedham Street corridor, we really, I think, want to make a good showing there, because, for the important reason is, this is only one phase of the project, and you want to get the money for the rest of the project, the interchange itself. Since the secretary and the governor will be there, and they're the ones that have a lot to do with
Yeah.
coming up with the money for this. And since the state is committed to this money, it's not going through the MPO. It's not the MPO's part of money that this will be coming from, it will be the state's money. So those are the 2 people we need to convince that, yeah, this is nice, it's wonderful, but this is not the end. We have to continue on with the interchange itself. And in fact, there could be very bad consequences for the neighborhood if we open the ramp and the new bridges.
And not the interchange.
And not the interchange, and all that traffic flows down Canton Street.
Well, it's also important to note, when we worked on designing University Station, it was a 2-point access project. And right now, we have 1,
Yeah.
really. I mean, from a highway perspective. And the design of University Ave was intended to accommodate those coming off 95 North. And it was only after the election when the budget all changed, because it was 100% design, wasn't it? At that time? The 95 North off-ramp? I don't know if it was at that time,
it was close, it was close.
but it got pulled.
Yeah,
And that's when we all wrote letters of concern about how this will affect the
Yeah.
University Station project. So it's not just of curiosity interest, it really does have an impact at University Station and resulting impact on possible Canton Street traffic. People coming north and may have to revisit looking at that intersection there and
Yeah.
how it's designed.
so more than anything else, it had to do with the financial reorganization of transportation. The legislature came up with a certain amount of money, but it was really only half what was needed. Really needed $1.2 billion a year for our transportation needs, and they came up with $600 million. And then part of the money through the gasoline tax, which was going to be raised. Well, it was going to be adjusted by inflation. every year. And, you know, just the way all other taxes are one way or the other, adjusted for inflation each year. But then that was turned down by a state, by a vote. So we don't have quite as much money as was hoped, and that wasn't even enough to begin with. So it ended up there were just not enough funds available. And they managed to get money for the Denham Street corridor there, simply because one of the very large bid came in way under. That money was available. So we've been struggling ever since to come up with that money which the state had promised us.
Well, going with the low bidder never has problems, so I'm sure it'll go smoothly.
It'll be great.
Well, in that case, going with a little bit better out in the project in Springfield was good for us. And that money became here. And this project itself came out with a low bid, under what they expected.
All right. Islington Center Task Force, you know, this board's next meeting is May 9th. Islington Center Task Force, May 15th. Next meetings, and town meeting is Monday, May 1st at 7:30. And this board will wait to hear from Abby as to whether or not a meeting prior to that be necessary. Probably be in the Little Theater.
Or maybe the cafeteria usually.
Okay. Or the teacher's lounge is another room sometimes used.
Right, I think the Board of Selectmen will be, yeah, so the cafeteria.
Get it early.
Yeah, okay.
Better
No,
Is it first come, first served?
Stake our claim.
no, that's
I
fine.
gotta cover Board of
Okay.
Selectmen too, and,
Right,
you know, we're staff at 2.
right, no, I think if we have one, it'll be quick to talk about an amendment proposal.
Right. So what are these dates? So the Monday, the 15th is a joint meeting with the task force and the selectmen.
Right.
It's really a selectmen's meeting.
It's really a selectmen's meeting, but we're going to post it for the Islington Task Force members to attend
And
to.
then the regular meetings of the task force after that are May 31st or
All
June 1st.
selectmen.
No, all three of them
And then
are
June
the
19th.
selectmen meetings with the
All
task
three of
force
them
to
will be
attend.
selectmen?
Yep.
Just going to continue, it's going to continue on like that, but,
Just for right now, during
Yeah.
during this process.
so 3 meetings of the selectmen where the Islington
Task
task
force will be there, yep.
Yeah.
It's a busy summer. Okay. Is that it, Abby?
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I will second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.